Mei and Hua's new chapter in Germany. In a high-rise in Beijing, two sisters lived in a small apartment filled with the warmth of family joy. 7-year-old Hua, with a laugh as melodious as wind chimes, and 9-year-old Mei, whose smile could illuminate the dimmest corners. Their cozy home buzzed with affection and laughter, at the center of which was a sprightly little dog named Fluffy, with fur as white as snow and a penchant for playful antics. One day, as the autumn winds began to whisper of change, their parents sat them down with cups of jasmine tea and warm red bean buns. The news they shared was as big and bold as the Great Wall itself. They were going to move to Germany, where forests grew thick and fairy tales were born. The idea of leaving their friends and the only home they knew made Hua's heart flutter like a caged bird, and my spirit wobble like a poorly kicked soccer ball. What about Fluffy? Hua's voice was small but urgent. Fluffy tilted his head, sensing the shift in the room. He's part of our family, and he'll come with us, their father said firmly, as if no ocean was too wide for their family to cross together. Football will continue as well. There are many teams in Germany too, encouraged her mother Mei. In the blur of days that followed, Hua carefully packed her panda dolls, each a guardian of memories, while Mei wrapped her soccer trophies, symbols of her triumphs. Fluffy, sensing the bustle, kept close, his toys gathered in his bed as if he too was preparing for the expedition. The goodbye was a tapestry of tears and promises. Hua and Mei held their friends close, making vows to send letters and share stories. And then, with Fluffy's leash firmly in hand, they stepped onto the plane that would carry them to their new life. Germany greeted them with open skies and crisp air that carried the scent of pine and adventure. Their new home was a gingerbread house come to life, with timber frames and a garden that promised secrets. Fluffy sniffed every corner, claiming the space with happy barks and a wagging tail. Language lessons became their new game, with Fluffy often joining in, howling along as they practiced their good morning and good night. At school, Hua's new classmates were fascinated by her stories of Beijing, her lunchbox filled with mooncakes and dumplings, while Mei's soccer skills won her instant friends. Their mother found a Chinese market in town, where she could mix the familiar with the new, creating dishes that were a dance of flavors. Their father took them on weekend excursions, to castles where they imagined themselves as princesses and knights, and Fluffy as their loyal steed. As the seasons changed, Hua and Mei found beauty in the swirl of falling leaves and the first snowflakes that kissed the ground. Fluffy discovered the joy of chasing snowballs and the comfort of a warm spot by the fire after a day of adventures. With each passing day, the unfamiliar became familiar. Words that once felt like knots in their tongues now flowed with ease. Fluffy's bark seemed to carry a new accent, playful and bold. Hua and Mei learned that friendships could be formed with smiles and shared laughter, and that goals scored on the soccer field were celebrated in any language. They discovered that change wasn't just about new places but about seeing the world with fresh eyes and an open heart. And so, beneath the same moon that shone over both Beijing and their new German town, Hua, Mei, and Fluffy found that home is more than a place, it's the feeling of being surrounded by love, whether it's through a warm hug, shared meal, or the loyal companionship of a fluffy, full-legged friend. Together, they wrote a new chapter of their lives, each day a page filled with small adventures and big dreams. And they lived happily, joyously, adventurously ever after, in a world that was now as wide and as warm as their hearts.